again, my dear fellow Christian travelers. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to throw them in the pot like a stew. I was appalled, absolutely appalled, when the news came on about the number of pedophiles in the Catholic Church. And in that one state, was it Pennsylvania, that 1,000 kids had been abused by priests. You know, first of all, that's spiritual incest, because they call you father. How can a priest, it doesn't compute in my mind. How could a priest abuse an altar boy? You steal their innocence. And you ruin their lives forever. I don't understand it. And you know, they're not necessarily gay, by the way. My friend Tom Doyle, we went to the Dominican House of Studies together in Chicago. He made it his mission when they appointed him to be at the Apostolic Legate in Washington. He made it his mission to expose everywhere he could about the abuse of children. In fact, there was a contract on his life. I heard it with my own ears. I was at a conference and these bishops I heard them mumbling to themselves. If they saw him, they would shoot him. Because they think he brought down the Catholic Church. Tom Doyle was one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever known in my life. But like all of us who value the human person, it was simply untenable to accept someone who images Christ to touch a kid and ruin him forever. There's got to be a special place in hell for these people. And that takes me to another subject that's related. It seems that there was a conspiracy of silence. The people weren't talking, and the bishops were covering up. And one of the suggestions came to me, how do you talk about politics? Do we talk about politics in the church? Now, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a political animal, so to speak. When I lived in Montreal, I established relationships at every level of the government. And I did it primarily to help the new immigrants when they came to this country, to the country of Canada. I just worked so hard during the uncivil war in Lebanon to do the fast track. And the same thing during the Syrian craziness. Now, I never spoke politics from the church per se, but there's certain moral issues that you can't be silent about. Our country's in a terrible place right now. I never dreamt in my wildest that I would hear the things that I'm hearing today about our political leaders. and how they go after each other for the jugular. There's no more reverence for the office of anything. Everybody is open to be trashed. And whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, they swing verbal arrows at each other, which are terrible. I want to know what happened to civility in our country. And that also goes into this issue of pedophilia. If a mother or father knows what's going on, you have a right to go and report that priest and pull your kid out of that school or out of any relationship with a priest that touches a kid. The same abides for anything that's going on in our world. You have to let your voice be heard. We need to let our political leaders to know that we don't like the discourse that's taking place in our society. It's abhorrent. That's another kind of abuse. You know, verbal abuse is another kind of death. Only the person is still alive. And that arrow pierces your being. And I've never heard at the highest level to just regular folks that can discuss calmly and discuss with how can we make our country better. That's why we're not getting anything done. Because we choose to fight instead of reaching out and making concrete suggestions or revealing something that's unjust, an injustice, a moral injustice. There's a parallel to what is happening in our society by our silence. We need to speak out. It's not right at the pulpit to perpetuate one party or salute one party or another. But it is right from the pulpit to speak out against injustice. Injustice for the Palestinians, for example. I watched Fauda yesterday. It's unbelievable, the hatred to people that live together in harmony and peace until the major powers intersected themselves in the Middle East. There's no place where there's peace anymore. We don't cry out when there's an injustice. We think it's somebody else's responsibility, but it's our responsibility because we are society and society is us. And we have a moral obligation to make our voice heard in whatever circumstance one finds themselves. Because when you don't speak out, it's tantamount to giving permission. And we have to stop. We have to stop being silent. This is on my mind. And I just wanted to share it with you. Whether it's in politics or in religion, we ought to let our voices be heard, to let truth be told, that where there is disharmony, there'll be harmony. Where there's hatred, there'll be love. It's up to us, you and me. Thank you, and God.